going to come on my radio show. We're going to keep talking about this subject. I thought I'd just share with you today, because I've had a radio show for 8 years. Who's counting? It's like 4. Actually, it got to 6 years now. I was telling people I've been on radio for 4 years, and I've forgotten the other 2 years. But anyway, many times I have thought, should I continue doing the show? It's called Deadly Human Rights. And it's because of the amount of emotion that you deal with that is coming from people, and then you have to put out about talking about the subject. It takes a lot of energy. And then I'm like, should I keep going? And I go, I have to keep going. Yes. Get on with the show. And so it's become my passion. And I just want to give you a bit of background about me. I was born in a community called Broome, and it's in the Northern Territory of Australia. And it's my mother was born on Sunday Island, and she was Aboriginal. My father was white, blonde, blue-green eyes, and they found each other. And I was brought up with very strong people around me. My mother spoke about 8 different dialects of languages. She could converse with a lot of different people. She also spoke Indonesian as well, and that because I'm part Aboriginal, Filipino, Malaysia, Indonesian, English, Irish, New Zealand, and Australian. And my dad was a very, how can I say? He definitely would instill in me, if I said something, anything when I was growing up, he'd say, that's racist. I go, okay. And then as I'm going up, he goes, no, don't say that's racist. You can't say that. But he didn't say that all the time. He just pointed it out. And I go, yeah, you're right. So I had that growing up. My Aboriginal grandfather was a medicine man. He was a cultural man. He did corroborees. He took young men into initiations. He did the ceremonies for Indigenous people that passed away. Like he was the main chief in the community. And my dad grew up in the Aboriginal community when he was quite young, and my Aboriginal family taught him how to navigate by the stars at night time on the boats. So he learned a lot of knowledge there. My Aboriginal grandmother was Christian, and she went up and down Western Australia preaching the word of God as well. So I've had quite a few diverse things happening in my life. When I was 8 years old, I used to tell my dad, please drop me off at the Christian church. When I was 8 years old, I wanted to go to Mass. I took my rosary beads, and I carried them around with me, and that was every Sunday, and I said, please pick me up. And so he would do that, just drop me off. I'd go to the service, he'd pick me up. So I had a really strong belief in spirituality. I've got Aboriginal spirituality, I've got Christian, so then with having these strong people in my life, so then when I went to school, there's key things that I'm just sharing with you, along, like so you get where my journey has come from, why I'm here talking about human rights on radio. At the school I went to, various schools, I was often the only Aboriginal girl at that school. My brother was the only Aboriginal person at that school. When I saw people that were not Australian, like they were from another country, every time they came to my school, they could be from Greece, Italy, Indonesia, Korean, didn't matter. I would notice them, and I would go over and I'd say welcome. This is when I was like 10, 11, 12 years old. Welcome. Made them feel welcome. That, you can join in. You can come and join in and be part of the fun and games and that. So that was something that I did quite a lot when I was at school. Another key thing that happened when I was at school, we were playing in the schoolyard, and there was a guy sitting in a car outside the schoolyards. It had the wire fence. You can jump over it if you want to. We used to go for fish and chips, but so we were playing around, and I noticed this guy sitting there with the car door open, and I'm like, what's going on here? And I had a quick look, and I thought, something a bit unsavoury is what I'll say. So I went to about 12 girls, and I whispered in their ear, I want you to meet me over at the fence over there, and when I say point, you point in this direction. So all the girls said, I said in 5 minutes, so they came in the round. We were in a crowd near the fence, and I said, you've got to giggle as well. So we all pointed at the guy in the car, and we all started laughing at this guy. He closed the door, and he just took off like that. And he was just right outside the school there, looking at all the children. So that was just one other key part of my journey. So as you can see, I'm trying to take care of other people, not just myself, you know. So this sort of mentality is what I grew up with. So then I met, when I came to a human rights meeting right here in this room, and I met a lovely guy called Georgie Kookaburra Hume. He had a show on radio for 20 years. And I sat down next to him, and Indigenous guy, Wiradjuri, he just passed on a year ago. And he became a mentor of mine, and he says, can you come on radio? I go, okay. I had no desire to really be a radio broadcaster. He just invited me. I said, okay. So then I spoke, and I said, what am I going to speak about? I said, just speak about yourself. So I spoke about where I grew up, the Aboriginal culture, the corroborees. My uncle's fishing for, dugong and fish, and we ate turtle, and all sorts of stories that I could tell. Anyway, he invited me back again. And then again, I thought I've got to stop, just talking about myself on radio. And so then I decided to pick up this book, The Story of Human Rights. I thought I'm going to start reading an article a week on radio, and I'm going to get the discussion happening with whoever came into the studio. So I'd read out the article, and then I'd say, well, what would you like to say about that subject? Is there something you want to say? Is there something? And it just became a discussion everywhere. And people just interested in talking about their stories that came up, their own personal stories. Then Koori Radio said, we want you to train. They gave me a free 6-week course at the studio, and then after the training, they said, we want you to have your own show, because we're talking about human rights and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which is in this booklet. And so then I started the show. What am I going to call the show? So I had friends around me, why don't you call it Daily Human Rights? I go, oh yeah, that sounds good. What am I going to call myself? And other friends, well, what about DJ Party Girl? I go, that sounds great. So with my story, I've had help from different people as well as me wanting to do what I'm, where I want to get to. So then after that, I had to work out, if I have a 2-hour show, what am I talking about? So then I decided this is going to be my topic, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. That's what my show is based around. And so then it just grew over the 8 years. And what I do on this show is not just me talking for 2 hours. I get guests, like you people, onto my show to talk about what's going on in the communities or in different areas of life. I also share what's happening in the community. Like Moses' group, so has. I promote them on my show, and they do a fantastic job. And they're doing a community service, and not just a service. They're really they're going above and beyond. So I'm getting into Moses' speech now. So I do promote other groups and activities a lot. I also make sure I promote this, and also I'm just saying, if there's anything else I promote. Yeah, so they're the main things that I promote, and I also promote films. Not films, sorry, poems on my show, because I think it's nice to have creative writing and to be able to share that on radio as well. So I do that a lot. Now, as regards, since I've been doing the human rights program, I have been fortunate enough to meet nearly every person in this room at an event somewhere. You know, part of my program is to bring people together. Let's work together. Let's work on the same platform. We're not working against each other. We're here to work for human rights for all mankind. The various communities that I've worked with are Indigenous, of course. I go to events there and I get Indigenous people to come on the show. Indian community, Tamil, Lao, Filipino, Indonesian, Thai, Nepalese. I just spoke at a Nepalese event yesterday, which was an honour, and absolutely beautiful people, the Nepalese people. Taiwanese, Japanese, monks, Christians, Muslims. I've been to the Muslim events as well, and that they're very inclusive as well. So Jewish and Sikhs, and I can go on. There's the Historical Society community. Said, can you come and do a talk? There's also Korean groups. So the list goes on. I can name them all out to you. I'll be writing a 10-page letter with all the names of all the people. So every week I try to make sure I have a guest coming on the show. Sometimes 2 guests, and then sometimes I'll have someone say, Andrea, can I come on? I go, yes, you've got 10 minutes. And so instead of saying no, I'd say, yes, come. Somehow we fit you in. Or if not, you come in the next week. But somehow everyone gets to say their piece on my show. And I just want to let you know that's why I'm here. My radio show is open to everyone. And you can definitely talk about your issue or whatever the human rights thing that you want to talk about. Now, I want to leave you with a poem here, and this is a poem by Auntie Mary Duro. She's a UN elder, passed away, but her daughter has given me approval to share her poems on radio, and this is a favourite one of mine. This is called New Sunrise. Arise, new sun, show me the dawning of this new day. Enlighten the darkness within my heart, my soul, my mind, so that I, like you, may create another day for mankind. Arise, new sun, let your golden rays ignite the dying embers. Fill me with desire to share my hopes, my dream, so that I, like you, will live forever an endless being. Thank you. Thank you, Angela.
Thank you so much, Andrea.